Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Alex, and I'm a solution specialist for the Archon's Be.Smart Core Collection. And today I'm joined by my colleague, Dovydas, who is the product manager for the Core Collection. Together, we represent Archon's, a leading partner in digitalization for the construction and manufacturing industries. In today's webinar, we'll explore how the Core Collection can assist you with view creation and sheet generation tasks. We'll walk through real-life examples that will be familiar to you as Revit users. We will give a quick overview, following by a live demo, showcasing examples across multiple disciplines, starting from architectural, going to structural, and finishing with MEP to highlight the broad applicability. And now, quick introduction to the Core. What is it? It is a set of tools developed to support a wide range of general tasks. It includes tools dealing with the documentation processes, such as automating tag, dimension placement, assisted view creation, and sheet generation. Additionally, it covers data management, would it be in your project or in your Revit libraries, allowing unification and standardization of the elements used in your company. Easy opening generation and other features are designed to save time on general tasks. And today, we'll focus on how Core Collection specifically supports tedious tasks of repetitive view creation, sheet generation, and sheet management. And with that, I'll hand it over to my colleague, Dovydas.
Thank you, Alex. So I would like to start with the architectural part and some of the challenges involved in documenting it in Revit. Challenges like creating detailed views for equipment or other elements is often tedious and repetitive. Documentation also involves creating lots of sheets and placing views in precise positions. And each view then needs to be individually tagged and dimensioned. So now let's go into the live demonstration to show you how smart documentation from the Core Collection can help. And I'll start with the challenge of creating detailed views. In this architectural model right here, I have some components that make up the kitchen set. And in my example today, I'll show you how you can create detailed views for this. I'll be using the views functionality from Smart Documentation. And inside of the views configuration, I can specify things such as what types of views to create. And also, among other things, I can specify view templates to apply and dimensioning and tagging configurations to apply, meaning that created views can come pre-tagged and pre-dimensioned. I will select elements in my model to create views for, run the configuration, and give my views a name, and the process is underway. So the views that are being created are sized according to the elements I had selected. And I can see the first view, which is the front elevation right here. So you can see the elements I had selected, and you can see that it comes pre-dimensioned and pre-tagged. In the dimension configuration, I have specified that for floor standing cabinets and equipment, use these blue color dimensions, and for wall hung cabinets, red color dimensions. Tags are also placed. Equipment is tagged with these tags. Plumbing fixtures have another tag. I have specified that for floor standing cabinets, tags are placed at the center, wall hung at the top. And besides this, more views have been created with this configuration, such as this 3D view and elevation from the top. And also before this webinar, I have created more sets of views for other kitchen sets that I have in my model. So the next step would be placing these views onto sheets for either printing or publishing. And instead of using plain Revit method of just dragging views one by one, we can use the sheets functionality from Smart Documentation. In the configuration, I can specify views to place. And inside the layout rules, I can specify things such as title block to use and offsets between sides and between each view. I'll hit place views on sheets. And you can see that my views turn, their icon turned blue, indicating they're now populated onto sheets. I can scroll down to find sheets that have been created. This one contains 3 sets of 3 different kitchen views. And what didn't fit onto sheet number 1 made it onto sheet number 2. For the next example of detail views, I will create drawings of window specifications. First of all, I'll go into my window schedule, select the elements here, and now we're selected in the 3D view. And for selected elements, I'll run the assemblies configuration. So this assemblies configuration is similar to views. The main difference is that we're creating assemblies and assembly views, and also assembly schedules and sheets. And also in the assemblies configuration, just like how I can specify which views to create, I can also specify what schedules to create, what sheets to create as well. And these sheets, these views and the schedules can come already, again, pre-populated onto assembly sheets. And Revit assemblies also groups identical elements under one assembly type, meaning that the end result will be assemblies for each different window that I have in a model. And for each of those assemblies, I will have an assembly drawing. So essentially, I will have a drawing for each unique window that I have in a model. So now that this is finished, the result is 8 assemblies that have been created. And we can take a look at how they look. So again, I have specified to create a front view and the top elevation, which I tagged. I've placed some information about each window as well, in form of tags. And these tags also give me information, pull some family parameters from the window family. Also, important note that here I put a schedule for quantities. It tells me how many instances I have under this assembly type. So I know just exactly how many windows like this I have in my model. And I have a QR code which was generated through the images functionality. And for each different window, I have a new drawing, just again, which has the same layout. Let's go into one more. So the end result, I know what windows I'm using in my model, and I know just how many of each window is placed. And for the last example today, let's go into the fundamentals, which is creating sheets for floor plans. In case of Smart Documentation, what you will need to start is you'll need just one sheet. You will need to set up one sheet manually, which will serve as a template. So in my case, I started with ground floor. I've placed the floor plan, and I've also placed some schedules like door and window schedule and general notes legend. So now if I want to keep the same layout for all the other floor plans, I can simply use the sheets functionality, manage sheets, select which is my sheet template. Now select views I want to populate onto sheets. Do some mapping. So the software will map most of the views on its own. So mapping which view goes onto which new sheet. And I've also specified that I want to add general notes onto every sheet as well. Give these views a name. I'm just using simple numbers to speed this up. It takes a few moments to compute. And now this is finished. I can close this window. And the end result is 5 new floor plans. And each new floor plan contains corresponding, each new sheet contains a corresponding floor plan with corresponding window and door schedules. Same in here. So this was level 1, level 2, level 3. They all also contain general notes as well. So getting back to the slides, to sum up this part, with smart documentation, you can speed up the process of creating detailed views. The examples of casework and windows are just a few ways to do that. And there are also smarter ways to create sheets instead of placing views one by one. And then working with repeated elements like windows, the tool can group them. And handle quantities automatically.
Yep. Thank you for running through that poll, Davidas, and for your presentation. And now let's move to the structural side. There are also quite a lot of things that can be automated with the Be.Smart Core Collection. Would it be uniquely tagging or dimensioning structural elements? And there are quite a few of those. And as we've seen through the poll, that's the biggest issue. Or maybe you will have issues with automatic opening generation. Core Collection covers all that. What we've chosen to look at more closely today are 2 cases. First one is regarding the detailing of structural connection elements in projects. There might be tens or even hundreds of different details that would require unique viewing views, detailing those for further production or installation. And that can take long hours to work on creating those. After that, I'll cover the automated ways of creating shop drawings for structural elements. And that's also the tasks that requires an extensive amount of time. And let's go to Revit. And here I have my structural model, and specifically the basement view with the foundations and some metal base plates connected to those foundations. So depending on the project, there might be different placements of those base plates. There might be different sizes. And as for this example chosen, there would be a need to create separate details for each of those. Doing that just for one, yes, it might be pretty fast, but if we need to detail all the different ones or all of those, then that will take quite some time. What we can offer you here is, let's select just some unique base plates with the unique placement or sizing. And I will go to the view creation. My biggest headache is now choosing the correct configuration. This one seems to be good. And we'll go into the view creation. The tool will do all of those tasks automatically. And as you see, there are some views appeared here. And if I would go to my project browser, I have here views created. Their names are created according to configuration, and there I have set up that the view name should contain mark of the element. So I have base plate 2, 5, 8, and 15 views. What do we have in those views is front view with some dimensions, similar for the left view, and of course the top view with the dimensions placed, and you can see what we're dimensioning, either edges to the grid or some connections. Now, what we can do further with these views is, of course, place them on the sheets. Now I have them just as regular views. So let's go into the view placement on sheets. And here I have configuration where I have pre-selected with a filter to filter out only views which contain BSP in their name. So I have all my base plates. None of them are yet placed on the sheet. So I choose all of them, click place on a sheet. How long it will take to do that? Just a second. And here is my sheet of column base plates where all of those are placed. And if something needs to be added to these views, you already don't have to create them. You don't have to dimension them. And it's already a good foundation for future work. Now, moving up the building to the next example of shop drawings. This is an example from structural model where there are walls and they are precast. So there are some connection elements also in those walls added as additional phase-based elements. And we would need to create shop drawings for these walls. So how we would do that in Revit? We would select elements, choose create assemblies, then choose which views to create, which schedules, go into those views, create sheet, place those, dimension, tag, all of those procedures, and one wall can take quite some time, depending on the complexity, 5, 10, 15 minutes. And today, let's run it for 2 walls. And I will run our assemblies functionality, create assemblies, correct configuration, and choosing the create. So what the tool does now, it goes automatically through those assemblies, creates the views, places them on a sheet according to the template that I've preset for the tool. So it knows already how I want those views to be distributed on the sheet, and also dimensions those views. So it'll take, instead of 15 minutes or 10 minutes, or even if it would take 5 minutes for the wall, it takes 10, 15 seconds. And we're already on the second wall, and it will soon finish. And we're done. Let's go to our assemblies. Here's the first wall that I have selected. And as mentioned, all the views have with the dimensions, with some annotations upon requirement of what was dimensioned there. And we have the same view for the next wall. So again, work of maybe half an hour, done in just 20, 30 seconds once everything is set up. Now let's go back to presentation. And with that, we'll finish the structural part. So with a core collection, you can automate multiple tedious tasks to get fast and consistent results, ensuring deliverables are ready in time, as you've seen from the examples. And after that, let's move to the last one. It's, of course, MEP. Looking at today's topic, we've noticed that spool creation and utilization of congested areas takes up a lot of time. It's okay when there is a need to create just a few additional views in the project, but how about spooling an entire systems? Multiple views have to be created for the same set of elements, annotating all what is in our path. And let's go into the model to see how we can help. I'll just close this one, and let's go to the MEP. So with a spool creation, there are a few roadblocks, making us work quite kind of slow with that. And our goal is to expand the possibilities and assist in getting the end result faster. So with spooling, let's go with the piping systems. And I have quite a few of those running here, but we'll concentrate on this wastewater riser. I have a view specifically created for that one. And let's add smart documentation back on stage. And there's a pretty nice riser going here all the way from the first floor to the roof. And what we would need to do usually is to create, let's not select this one, create spools according to the level. So to do that, I can select the elements which should be in the spool. Again, go in our views functionality, create views. Again, one of the biggest headaches is to choose correct configuration. Okay, and it will give me a window to write a name. So it's a riser level 1. And let's start with the creation. You will notice that there are already views created for level 3 and 4. So now it will be filled also by the views for level 1. So what we've got, 3D view, already with a template applied, front view, where we've dimensioned specifically the lengths of the pipes, so to the edges of the pipes, and then the left view, where we've dimensioned the edges of the fittings. And it took just a few seconds. But some of you might have noticed, depending on the company needs, for risers, there was one element missing, and that was a floor level. We could easily add that by adjusting the template for the floor to be visible. But there's another option to do that, and it's by utilizing cut opening tool from the core collection. This tool is created to find clashes between MEP elements and structures. Would it be in links, in current model, doesn't matter. So let's run clash detection on what we have in this view and insert some openings. And those openings will be like representations of the floor in our future views. With that, I can select pipes on a second floor, select the opening as well, create views, choosing the correct configuration that I want, changing the name, and the tool keeps track of, well, I should have changed, keeps the track of which views already was created. So I had level 1, so it's level 2. And let's create that. Now for the level 2, we will already have not only pipes in our views, but also the openings. And same for the side views. And again, similar as with the base plate views, now we have those. We need to place them on the sheets. So I can go into my sheets functionality again, filter out the views according to the name spool to have just those, so it would be faster to search. Here are all my pipe spools, and I will add just level 1 to the sheet currently. Again, a second to create the sheet. And the tool will mathematically calculate where is the best place to place the views, you can set some offset from the edges, but it's not always perfect. So sometimes you need to adjust it. Let's make it more presentable, or how we are used to see it. So elements more in the center. This is something more likely what we would need to present. So we have our first sheet, and you might ask the question, do we need to repeat the same thing for all the views? Luckily not. We have manage sheets functionality, and now that I have that one spool sheet created, I can select it as a template, and for all the rest of the floors, I can repeat the same placement. So I'm choosing my 3D views, my plan views, sections. The tool will try to automatically align those views. So where the front spool was, it will try to place front spools according to the name. If something goes wrong here, you can always adjust which view you want to place where specifically. So for this case, it's all good. And now it will, sorry, it's on the second screen. Let me move it. Now it will ask, what do I want names to be for those sheets? It's okay for me, works, level 2, 3, 4. So the sheets are already created. And now what it's doing, it's filling those sheets with the views from my project. Now we're finished, and we had level 1. So now we have a sheet for level 2, except this time it will be with the openings. Similar sheet for level 3. And for level 4, going all the way through the roof. So again, if you have high-riser buildings, or you have a lot of risers generally going in your building, and you need to create spools and detail those, that's the way to go. You can do that in half an hour for a building instead of spending maybe 2-3 days or even a week, depending on the amount of information that needs to be preceded. Now, moving from the pipes to the ducts, I will show a very quick example of creating detailization of congested area. Let's see this area as a congested area. There are some ductwork going, some ducts going over, going into the storage area. And how I would do that generally, I would create a 3D view, apply a specific template to it. If it needs to be adjusted, the size of it, duplicate it, rename it, and to be able to place it on a sheet. Also, if I would need 2D detailization, like a plan view of the specific area, then I would need to create an additional plan view only for that. With our tools, I, of course, have already configuration for ductwork detailization. And all I need to do is select the correct configuration, write a name that I want, and the tool will go into the creation of views. So it was just like 5 clicks, and I have already my duct 3D ortho view that can be easily dragged and dropped on a sheet. And also I have my plan view, which can easily also be manipulated. And if you would want to, this view could be also tagged and dimensioned according to the company needs. So yeah, that will be it from the MEP presentation and how much time can be saved with that. And now I will give the word back to my colleague Dovydas.
Thank you, Alex, for your presentation. And now I'd like to do the wrap-up of this whole webinar. So some 3 key takeaways. 4 key takeaways, actually. So with smart documentation, you can improve your workflows by using fast view creation functionality, which also sizes all created views appropriately. For placing views onto sheets, we offer several ways to improve the process, either with layout rules or by creating sheets based on templates. You can also create your own tagging and dimensioning rules, which can be applied to existing views, or used together with the view creation process. And also, smart documentation we focused on today is just one part of the core collection. We'll take a closer look at our solutions in the core collection in future webinars, or you can read more about them at our website at arcans.world. I would also like to do just a quick reminder that Arcans has a wide network of professionals around the world, and we offer a range of services like training, consulting, software setup, and customization. And now we'll be moving into the Q&A session. And for those who don't want to stay for this part, I'm saying thank you, and this is our email address, info@besmart.software.